Okay, hello. This is sort of the YouTube channel trying to focus on Clojure, and today I am talking with Laurence Chen. Hello. Can you sort of introduce yourself? I basically found you on posting on Reddit and thought you are doing a lot of cool stuff, so I just wanted to dig a little bit deeper. But
Okay, definitely. First, hello everyone. I'm so happy that Ikuru-san invite me to have this recording session. I'm from Taiwan. I'm an old programmer. I'm 38 years old, and currently I am doing my living by two different kind of activities, writing Clojure program, and also I earn money by giving consulting advice.
Wow.
Okay.
So like a consulting as in solving business sort of solution, kind of more like a Big Four kind of consulting.
We can dig into that part later.
Okay.
That's the whole story.
Okay. Exciting. Yeah. Okay. So that was the intro. Thank you. So yeah, just main theme of this YouTube channel has sort of far been Clojure. So yeah, can you like tell us how you sort of entered Clojure?
Oh yeah, definitely. On 2016, that time I work for a company, and we are doing monitoring software, server monitoring. So there is a Clojure open source called Riemann,
right?
And because it did had relationship with our company, so I have very good reason to study that and within my working time. And also at that year, I read a book many years ago, written by Paul Graham, Hacker and Painter. Okay,
it's classic.
When I read that book, I found that Paul Graham was right for predict something about internet, about software. Well, because at that time I think, oh, he was so right. So I determined I want to learn some Lisp for myself, and so I found Clojure, and also at the same time Riemann is a good topic for me to study. So at that year I think I really entered at 2017, and then after 1 year, I think I almost grasped most of the detail. I mean that I can do, but maybe not very good or very fluent. And and then sometime I changed my job. At 2019, I get a chance to work for a big corporate to do a customized solution for them. So I choose Clojure, Datomic, and front end I just use JavaScript, and then everything got into the exponential curve.
So that okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, can you sort of add some color, sort of how up to sort of discovering Clojure? So presumably you have like a very long career so far, and I'm sort of curious what has your sort of earlier life look like?
Oh, about my earlier life.
Yeah.
Okay. okay, it kind of about somewhat idiosyncrasy. Okay, okay, because in Taiwan, our industry is somewhat a little different. Our hardware industry is really strong. So you heard that TSMC now is so strong. So the industry about IC manufacturing integrated circuit is very strong. So the salary of hardware industry is very high, but the salary in software industry is not as good as hardware.
Okay.
The difference is quite big, almost 1 to 2.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Okay. So actually, when I graduated from university, I had chance to enter hardware industry because my major is electrical engineering. But I think because I'm dumb, I don't understand the value of money. so I choose software. Okay. And then also I choose Star from very beginning because I read some book about how Star are great, how new company can change the world. So I decided to follow my dream, follow something about imagination, and then I failed. So I think I was dumb when I was young.
I
Okay,
really respect the sort of challenges, though. Yeah. So, sorry. Yeah, that's my interjection, but yeah.
Well, when I think I knew quite a few Clojure programmer, or we can call them Clojurian. I kind of feel that they are like somewhat similar to me. For example, I found that quite a proportion of them use Emacs, use Vim. They even some guy even use DevilShark keyboard.
I see.
And many of them are vegetarian.
Okay.
So our community collected many kind of minority, and the minority became bigger in our community. Yeah,
that's very cool. Yeah, so you've been using, I guess, Emacs or Vim before?
yeah,
Okay.
Vim.
I see. Yeah, one of my friends' excuse of using Clojure was like, it's like it's a language where Emacs is the best editor for it, and he loves Emacs, so it's like a sort of the reverse.
All kind of reason.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, and I wanted to sort of, dig deeper if within the sort of boundary that you're comfortable to share, what kind of sort of technologies you use for your software work, and how consulting solutions look like. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to speak directly at front because when 2019, I only learned Clojure for actually 1 year, because in 2018, I in my another job, I did not have time to spend on Clojure. So my experience is limited. So I use something I can learn quickly and then apply. So about framework, I just use Luminous, and database I use Dynamic. And I choose JavaScript because my boss their opinion, they still think that I should use something they can understand. But actually, there are two reasons. Because one reason is their opinion, and the other reason is at that timing I had no time to learn reframe. Okay, so what I want to tell you is that first, if you are good, don't follow my choice. I mean that you don't have to follow my choice to choose Luminous, because it is good for beginner, but it may be not so good if you are good enough. Okay, because there are many choices.
Yeah,
and
I agree in terms of sort of so some problems with Luminous is I sort of encounter a sort of a newbie person saying like my Luminous app isn't working, and so it's like becomes a question of sort of which sort of version of Luminous and which options of Luminous you use it to generate the template, and sort of what modifications that that person has applied to Luminous, and then sort of becomes like a vague, like what defines Luminous becomes like now it's your own thing and it's not Luminous anymore, kind of a yeah. That's sort of an opinion I have, but yeah. And I agree that it's great where you can say lay new Luminous and you have something working and it's good as a reference and something to work on quickly, but yeah.
On the other hand, I want to tell them this is a successful story that someone with only 1 year of learning Clojure can satisfy his customer with some framework and database he just learned several months.
Yes, that is very impressive. What kind of sort of pressure was involved sort of with that project? So you were like the only person responsible to sort of deliver that?
Yeah. One man for front and back end database, and also testing.
And yeah, was it like on a sort of a ongoing contract, or was it like the client wouldn't sort of pay out until everything's like complete, kind of a?
Okay, it is ongoing contract. Okay. And the interesting thing is like this. When I finished my project after 6 months, the beginning of this project is something like this. I work at the sales department of that corporate.
Okay.
in sales department, they had no engineer. I mean, they have somewhat technical person, but they have no engineer that really
can make a product.
Okay. So originally they use certain workaround to solve data problem, and because their business is very good, the data become more and more
entropy.
So at a certain point, my manager got so crazy. She decided that is now we have to change. So
so was like the sort of the growth pain around
definitely
data going out of control, like you don't know what sort of values go into this place and people add random attributes and stuff like that, or
so
is it more just a volume that people can't handle anymore?
To the volume that explode. I see. So she find my expose that because I always stay at a startup, and sometimes startup sell their product to corporate. My company is Interval. Also, so when my ex company sold their product to this corporate, they found that my manager realized that that startup has good technical skill. So she asked my ex-boss that, can you make customized software for me? And my previous boss, actually his name is Ben. He's a very good guy because he recommended me. The interval at some certain point, it need to pivot. So some of Ben's employee had to leave, and I was one of them. So I left Interval to this corporate, and I get this assignment to do that job.
I see.
And after 6 months later, my work is successful, and the MIS department of the corporate found out that, oh, that's so crazy. We originally saw that you can only make some simple PHP script. This is actually an enterprise system. Okay, so
that's cool, yeah.
Due to certain corporate black box, and finally I hand over my project to the MIS department, and this is good because originally their DevOps use Java a lot, so Clojure compile into jar file, so they feel it easy for them to deploy.
Wow. It's just a jar.
Yeah.
Just a jar.
And then after 1 year, a whole 1 year, they prepare a team. I think it's 3 or 4 to redo everything I did.
Okay.
Change into a Java version.
Oh, that's cool.
Because what I did in that corporate is their RAN, is MIS job. Okay, so so then the interesting became come into me. What can I continue to deliver to continue to get paid at this corporate? Okay, so a long story short, and in the end, I provide technical advice and question to help them deliver more. And I found that because the sales department, when they sell, there are some JavaScript problem they need to debug, and my expertise can help them to debug. And this kind of anyway, I really found certain area that I can contribute my expertise, and now it became even better because I just need to say what I think, and instead really writing a lot of code. So my job become more about consulting, about giving advice, about giving my expertise and analytics.
Oh, that's cool. And yeah, and that sort of leads up to now. I'm sorry, I want to circle back to sort of the initial version where you chose Datomic with Luminous. can you like add a little more color there? I'm curious. So like was Datomic sort of suited for the type of product you
Oh,
were trying to deliver at the time?
okay, wait. To be honest,
Mm.
I am not so sure about my decision is actually
Yeah, okay. Mm.
uh,
Mm.
very correct,
Mm.
because maybe there are better
Mm.
decision.
Mm.
Okay.
I would totally, use Datomic if if I'm entirely in charge, and it sounds fun. So,
Okay.
Mhm.
And also,
Mhm.
well, this comes to, yeah, it's
Mhm.
really ethical.
Mhm.
Should we put should we use our customer
Mhm.
as our experiment? Should
Mhm.
we or not?
Mhm.
Okay, this is an ethical issue.
Mhm.
But for me,
Mhm.
it's actually not so experiment,
Mhm.
because at 2017,
Mhm.
uh, I actually made a side project
Mhm.
using Luminous and
Mhm.
Datomic before.
Mhm.
So actually, I have practiced
Mhm.
the technical stake,
Mhm.
not so much, maybe 3 months
Mhm.
before
Okay.
I really uh, uh,
So,
do this project in
mhm.
real production. Yeah.
Okay. That's very responsible. I respect that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
My life is frequently I Google some library and just casually add it to work, and let sort of not look at things blowing up after that. So yeah.
well, I
Mm,
think uh, because
mm,
I really thought about start
mm,
my own consulting business
mm,
around 2019,
mm,
and then I actually did.
mm,
So I think that uh, when I am an employee, and
mm,
when I am a business owner,
mm,
the sense of responsibility is somewhat different.
mm,
Because when when I am an employee, I can say that I choose work around
mm,
because there are pressure, because there are blah blah blah, a lot of reason.
mm,
But when I am an owner, I will feel that it's all about my promise.
mm.
Uh, uh, did do I tell the truth? Yeah.
Mm.
So
I see.
that kind of issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, lots of respect. Yeah, I did freelance for a little bit, and I I decided to go back to being employed after a while. So I have I really respect sort of yeah taking that um next step to like yeah, establishing your sort of own brand, as to say. Uh,
How is your
mm,
freelance experience?
uh, it was good while it was lasting, but sort of a taxation in it was in Japan, and sort of taxation experience of taxation wasn't sort of good. Um, so they have like regular income taxes, and then several months later they would charge sort of the sales taxes on sort of several months later, and then uh, several months later they would charge sort of I think in English they call it self-employment tax, or sort of business tax, where if you run your own business, which freelancing apparently qualifies, you have to pay 5% on the revenue or something like that. and then on top of that, you had to pay like sort of resident taxes, split by 3 times a year. So
Right.
yeah, so it felt like I was just making money so I can pay taxes, and didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I now work for a U.S. company, and I feel like taxes are simpler. You, at least if you're just employed, have a simple you know, income structure, or you just do income taxes, once a year, and there might be estimated payments, but that doesn't apply if you're you know, employed. So that's sort of my experience in a nutshell. Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm well on topic. How does holding a company in Taiwan sort of work? Um, yeah.
Okay, I kept it really simple. Okay. Yeah, we have sales tax that every revenue you make, there are 5% of sales tax.
In Japan,
And
it's 10%.
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, just for comparison, yeah. Okay.
And then we also have income tax for the company entity, just like income tax for person,
individual, yeah.
the individual. And I think that's not all done. Yeah.
I see.
And also in Taiwan, when you are little company, you have a lot of tricks to reduce your tax.
Okay.
Okay, and the government even knew this, even know this, that their thought is something like that. When you are small, because you maybe 2 years later you are going to die, so I will not charge you too much. I will like open one eye and close the other eye, which means you are successful. And then this was my effort to send our official to find, are you honest enough? Okay, this is reality. Okay, but it didn't. I am not encouraged that you escape from tax, but just a reality is something like this.
I see.
That's cool. Our
Yeah.
government is quite practical.
I see. Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you.
Okay, I can talk about another job. Yeah, because since this year February, I began to work from I work for a company called Gaiwan.com.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. 3 days a week. Okay. Okay. So you can tell that I actually spend really few time at my at that big corporate, because now I almost do not write any code for them, because they need only my thinking, my advice. Okay.
Yeah.
And my new boss, Marcel, he is very good Clojure programmer. So, and he also hosts a Clojure training teaching website.
Yeah.
It's Lambda Island.
Very famous.
Yeah. I can share certain working experience with him. Recently, we developed a project for our customer, and sometimes we need certain library, and there is no existed Clojure version, CLJ version. So we use Java one. Sound totally reasonable. But what if the Java library is somewhat a little bit complex? What would you do? For me, I was saying that either I make a new Clojure library to do that kind of thing, or I use a Java library and make a Clojure wrapper on it. That's only two options. But okay, then my new boss aren't really explain my imagination, because when he found out when he read the Java library source code, he felt that it just does too much boilerplate. So he used certain things like Clojure reify to create an object and to inject it into the Java factory.
Oh,
so
getting exciting.
He somewhat made the Java somewhat transform or made certain modification into the original Java library, and then wrap on it and use it. So this kind of skill really explain my imagination.
That's cool.
So well, that's a very amazing experience. So before, when you ask about my previous experience, I will say that sorry, I'm not sure I was correct at that time being, because recently I found many things I was wrong.
I see. But so it's like encountering Arne has been very positive for, I guess, learning.
Yeah.
So I follow Arne on Twitter, and I have a sense that he knows sort of Chinese really well.
Yeah. When Chinese New Year, he say to me, 新年快乐, something like this.
So it's not to the level where he's like completely fluent, or is like, can he read, write, and just
Oh,
like did you talk to him in English?
Yeah. Okay. Because we are a remote distributed company. So actually, we mostly use English. Yeah.
Okay.
And except 新年快乐 timing.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. How did you like encounter? So like if I so I did see like sort of the transition of Arne's sort of business turning in it. So it used to be like himself working on project in London, Ireland, and at some point he started to work with other people. Right. It's like yeah. Did you like see one of those sort of Arne's wants to work with more people, and did you just contact him, or
Okay. Okay.
sort of the beginning of the story?
This company is not big. We have several people. I think it's seven, and we distribute on 7 time zones.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah. And about actually I met him in Taiwan several years before.
Oh, okay.
Okay. At that timing, I believe is around 2017.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, he already the Lambda Island is really big, and I just started learning Clojure, and he gave a talk at Taiwan's Clojure community, and I still remember on that day, I used my poor English to ask some very difficult questions because I feel that something like that. How did you decide to pour your energy into this business, and how can you make this decision? And because the Clojure is not a popular programming language, and sometimes you want to use that, your boss will reject you, but you even don't care about this, and you the question is super long, and he was so kind, and said, "Oh yeah, I think I understand what you are."
Nice. Wow, nice, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and he say to me that it just about passion. Yeah. So well, I think I don't want to tell all the Clojure programmers that, oh, just follow your passion and you will find a role out. I don't think this is going to be true, because at least about on Brazil, I feel he is very powerful, diligent, smart, and many characteristics. Yeah. So he can follow his passion.
I see. Yes.
For normal people like me, well, I think I need good luck. Someone recommend me to a big corporate. I need something like this.
So some opportunities, or
some opportunity, because to earn money is not just about technical, about good skill. To earn money, you need to have a customer.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So for normal people like me, I really need good luck.
I see. Yeah, the last thing I have on my agenda is how is like sort of the general Clojure scenery in Taiwan? So it's
Okay.
from your point of view, yeah.
Really interesting. Since 2016, I joined. I began to learn Clojure, and at that time, I joined Taiwan Clojure community. I kind of felt that we did expand, but our size is still really small. On a regular Clojure meetup, for example, one month, once a month, maybe we had 4 people. Sometimes we had 7 people. Right. One of the
and, just because yeah, we are in the rest of the world's in COVID, it's you get to have a physical meetup, right?
Yeah. We still have physical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, last year, I had 2 students because I opened a Clojure tutor class, and I post an advertisement and asked if anyone want to learn Clojure with me.
I read the blog post, and yeah, how much the students paid.
Yeah, I only had 2, but it is fine because I think they learn what they want to learn. Because one of them told me that he tried twice to learn Clojure, and he gave up twice.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
this
on
is
his own that time.
yeah,
Oh,
on
okay.
his own. So and also because they were both my college classmates. So I somewhat believe that they earn much more than I. So I charge them with quite peaceful mind.
I did sort of convert Taiwan dollars to US dollars, and it's like, okay, well, not, it's like not small, so it was
Okay. Yeah.
Well, definitely sort of shows respect for your time. I feel like so I thought that was really cool.
Okay, one more thing about Clojure Scene in Taiwan. For a long time, our community talk about how can we expand our community. And one year, one guy proposed an idea that we should do more translation. We should do more how to say dojo or something that workshop to help others to learn. And that guy really did something about that. Not too much. And I proposed another idea that we should try to create first Clojure job in Taiwan. We should begin to do Clojure consulting, because if we can use it in our daily life, we can become better. And because when
definitely is a bigger motivation if it's required by
definitely.
job. Yes.
So till now, sometimes I feel that maybe it was my fault, because now all of us we try to find something like freelancing or something, and most of them just stop translate a lot of things, and they did not do a lot of workshop, because they our people are not much. We have only few people. Active member are 4 to 10, and most of us when we thought about Clojure community, we about community, we thought about that just us, and we try to deliver Clojure solution and get money, and not because I think that in other country, when your community has 100 people, 1,000 people, maybe when you think about community, you think about I want to teach more people, I want to be more inclusive, something like this. We can make advertisement for enterprise to help them to find Clojure programmer. But for us, the story totally different.
That does sound that definitely resonates with sort of what my sort of general experience in the Japanese Clojure community. So yeah, it's there is like a there's like a monthly Lisp meetup that we take turns, where there's a common Lisp month and Clojure month, and it alternates. And yeah, there are surprisingly many common Lisp people in Japan. So that's the rationale.
Surprising.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think generally there's like it's generally like 10 people, I think, every time. But once I think like a famous person became more like Clojure was buzzing, then maybe 40 people would come, but it like never sort of sustains at sort of max capacity. But yeah, it's like it's like I have been sort of discussing with people like should we like translate documents or have a workshop, and there was one attempt by one of my friends to have a workshop like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but that was like a one-time thing, and yeah, I also like participated in translating documents, but I feel like if you're already in sort of decided to learn some Clojure, then you probably don't want to read my sort of rapidly translated Japanese. You would rather read the authentic English document, and sort of but so yeah, it so yeah, I definitely feel like sort of that missing gap of how to propagate from 4 people to 100 people is definitely a hard problem. I feel like if it's definitely if it's especially sort of untouched water. But yeah. Sorry, that was sort of my rant, but
That's fine. That's fine. I kind of believe that no matter that you just try one-time workshop, I kind of feel that it doesn't matter. Sometimes I feel that when we try to begin something unpopular, it's really difficult at very first beginning. But when things accumulate, sometimes the dot will be connected. Well, so this is my opinion. That well, I don't connect all the dots, but sometimes I connect two of them.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to mention though, I like your point of first creating Clojure jobs definitely feels to me like it's sort of touching the truth. So what's there's like a person maintaining a list of companies in Japan that actively use Clojure, and that
well,
and
that's great. So how many companies?
Let me count. So there is a GitHub repository called Japanese Clojure Companies, and yeah, if you run a company using Clojure, you just make a pull request to that repository and it gets added. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So far 12 apparently.
Well, in Taiwan, I only knew one.
Okay.
And actually, I'm not so sure if they really use it because they just want to hire Clojure programmer and they send message to our community. So yeah. So
there is definitely sort of using Clojure as a signal sensing. Like if you are interested in Clojure, you must be sort of better than people that are not.
I kind of guess because I will think why they want to use. In my understanding, that Clojure is somewhat widely used in finance area. I mean in Europe, and that company, I mean that Taiwan's company, it focused on finance area. So I guess that maybe when their people stay in finance area long enough, they will find that certain Clojure library is very good for finance, and they begin to think that maybe we should use Clojure as our technical stack because we want to leverage certain library. This is my guess, but well, I did not go to that company, so I did not know all the detail. So we have only one, but well, Japan is much more advanced than us. That's great.
Yeah, well, that's but yes, no, but yeah, I definitely sort of want to echo that. There, I feel like having places to apply Clojure skills is sort of part of the. I feel like it's like a necessary piece to sort of have that cycle of more language population. I feel like, but yeah. What?
About conference. I want to ask. In Japan, your Clojure company, your Clojure community, do you have Clojure conference, or do you speak at conference about Clojure?
Yeah. As far as I know, only meetups. So
okay.
Yeah. When I was a little bit more ambitious, I did submit call for proposal sort of responses to talk about Clojure script at a React conference held in Japan. But yeah, that didn't get accepted, and I sort of but yeah, that is also an endeavor. I remember I remember like sort of following links from your website that you have spoken about Clojure at tech conferences that sort of outside at Clojure.
Okay, this is very interesting. I want to share. I as I remember, I had spoken. I had spoken at Java community conference. Maybe 3 times. And, okay. At beginning, I just want to speak what I want to speak.
Nice.
Yeah, because I did not think too much at the beginning. That was 3 years before, maybe. And this is also interesting because in Taiwan, actually, I think it is in Taipei because our population is not too much. So our software community, when they want to make a conference, sometimes they just need to reach that scale. So the Java community is very, very kind. They just and also they are I think those guys are very smart. They just invite Scala and Kotlin and Clojure into the community. So they had a lot of speakers.
Oh yeah, I totally lied. Yeah, there have been Clojure talks at a Java conference. Yeah.
Okay.
My God. I actually did once, and yeah, I erased it from my memory because it went sort of not so well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is one thing. I actually very, very grateful for those Java guys. Okay. And another thing is that I just say that when I began, I just spoke what I want to speak, and 3 years later, I somewhat changed. And at the beginning, my topic was something like the good reason about parentheses. So few people attend that session. and recent at the recent JCConf, my title changed. I changed to on component interface. So
Very generic.
it is a topic more general, and not so directly linking to related to Clojure. Because I somewhat myself, I somewhat changed. I think that if I am the audience, if I were the audience, I would think that why I want to attend a session that using certain programming language that I had never learned to talk about an idea that I may understand or I may not understand, and I will get nothing from it because this
feel like you are pre-excluded from the
So, and the recent speaking session, the room is full. Okay, so well, I still use a little bit of Clojure inside my talk, and on the page about the speaker, they can still understand that I am a Clojure programmer, and I think that the shameless plug is enough. Yeah, because I think it is because I stopped my consulting business. I changed my thinking to how can I create value to the person in front of me. This is a habit of thinking. How can I convey my value to him? And I decided that I want to talk about some idea. Maybe I extract from I take from Clojure community, but I want to express it in the form that people were willing to accept. And I can do some shameless plug. That's fine.
Nice. Yeah, that is something that's worth exploring. So I'll encourage my Clojure friends to at least submit a call for proposal to like random major language conferences and sort of but yeah that it is I sort of respect that you like sort of not sort of pre-exclude audiences by the title.
Well, I may allow mistake before. Originally, I pre-exclude a lot of audience.
I feel like that that is a very good lesson for me as well. Thank you.
No, not a bit. I want to express that I'm just normal, but I have very good luck because the Java community guy they asked me that, hey Laurence, this year are you coming to speak for us? And I said, okay, if you want me, because Ikuru-san, think about it. The first year I came and so few audience. Was it okay? And the second year I still came. Few audience. Was it okay? Because I'm somewhat shameless, so I came 3 times. so yeah,
like that, yeah.
That's the whole story. That it was not successful at the very beginning.
I admire the persistence, and it definitely inspires me to try again. I'll let you know when I do a successful conference talk level. Yeah. Thanks for going all this depth. I'm glad I was able to talk to you. Is there anything you want to add sort of at the end? You already mentioned Gaiwan and Lambda Island, but one more time, yeah.
Taiwan, if your company use Clojure to do software and you need some consulting, or you want to hire a software consulting company to do software for you, and if you want to learn Clojure and you want a really good resources, lambdaisland.com. Thank you for time for my plug.
Yeah, and yeah, if I guess you know, if a person is in Taiwan and happens to watch this, we'll get a link for like yeah, I guess maybe meetups in Taiwan.
Okay.
I'll add it in the description, and yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.